Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Pack, sports, life, and everything in between right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. We're brought to you by Live Landing Cattle. Our guests appear on our Pest Control phone line, and we are hanging out in the Potosi Live studio here at the Mall of Abilene. Great new location, a lot of excitement going on, and so we are so glad that you're with us this morning. Hodge is here. Josh is on the shelf a little bit, not feeling real well, so Josh is not going to be here this morning. Misty will be in a little bit later, so you will have two of us this morning as we get ready for another great Friday. The time has changed, and the time is to hit the range. So get out the mulligans. We will have our mulligans. Misty's back a little bit later on, so we've got a jam-packed show, lots to talk about. There's so much going on in the big country. There's so much going on in the sports world. We're going to have a combination. Knowing is half the battle, and a comment of our disaster of the week. And this may be the disaster of the century. So you do know it'll probably be, we'll do it in our 8 o'clock hour. I want to get Misty here and we'll talk about it. But a lot of crazy stuff that's happened. So if you've seen our Facebook state champions are great. They are so deserving to be rewarded and recognized. And so you're going to want to stay tuned and battle meets our disaster of the week. So, and again, maybe the disaster of the century. And then, of course, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of coaching since last week. One of the coaches that used to coach on this station, Jimbo Fisher's gone. We'll talk about his buyout and all those sorts of things. There's a lot to talk about. Of course, high school football is continuing. We've got the Dallas Cowboys coming off a big, easy win over the Giants. What their schedule looks like, the Eagles' schedule looks like. So there's can't wait. Misty will get in here, and then we'll dive into it. So a lot to talk about. Baseball awards been handed out last night and this week, and so we're going to look at those. And so it's time to jump into our Lawrence Hall headline report. They they drive us in and out of breaks and all the things. And so we appreciate Lawrence Hall. So be sure if you need a new car, truck, or SUV, head that way, get your service taken care of. Jim and the folks over there at Lawrence Hall always take care of folks, and so be sure you head that way. So let's dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. Last night, Thursday night football, great stuff. Great, probably first time in a long time where the two teams that were playing, star quarterbacks, playoff implications, what you would expect for a prime time game. And of course, last night the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens played. Baltimore Ravens win last night, 34-20, 8-3. Record of the Bengals to 5-5, and it looks like the Bengals are going to have a hard time climbing into the AFC playoff race. They're at the, kind of outside looking in at the moment. Very tough division with Baltimore, with Cleveland. Of course, we'll talk more about news about the rest of that in a moment. But last night, Ravens win 34-20. Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, 16 for 26 last night, throws for 264 yards, 2 touchdown passes, finds Nelson Aguilar and Rashid Bateman for 2 touchdowns. But in the process, they lose Mark Andrews, possibly to a season-ending ankle injury. Of course, Mark Andrews, great for those fantasy football players as well, but also just a really good tight end, a very nice weapon for the Ravens. And so it just seems like all these cars start falling into place to where it still looks like it's we talked about the Chiefs or the field being just the Chiefs running away with it again in the AFC. Again, of course, Baltimore's still pretty good, still loaded. Lamar Jackson playing well. OBJ still has some weapons, but we'll see what it'll look like for the rest of the season for the Ravens, as it looks like they have learned. But in the process last night, again, Gus Edwards had 2 touchdowns, but last night Joe Burrow threw a touchdown pass, but got hurt, left the game with a wrist sprain. So what happens there? Jake Brown comes in from Washington, rookie quarterback, throws a touchdown pass, but they come up short, 34-20. Again, falling to 5-5 on the season, and again the division's tough. And so staying in that division this past week, Deshaun Watson plays really well. Finds a way to lead the Browns over the Ravens, putting them very much in the playoff talks and all the things. And now he is going to have season-ending shoulder surgery, he has a fracture in his throwing shoulder. So now it looks like Deshaun Watson, again, one of the worst trades investment wise that have happened ever. $230 million. Not only that, but the picks that went to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. And now we're looking, now he's played 12 games. Has he gotten to his old Clemson days? No. Has he even gotten to his old Houston Texan days? No. And so now you've got Deshaun Watson out, and they're going to start their rookie quarterback. They're going to start a rookie quarterback. They're not going to Walker. And so can the defense of Cleveland, who's really, really good, Myles Garrett, I mean, they're loaded on defense. Can they do enough to allow them to still stay relevant? They're still good. They've got, they got Amari Cooper, Kareem Hunt's kind of resurrected his career with the Browns. So what will it look like for the AFC North in a loaded division, again, with the Ravens leading the way, and again, the Bengals falling backwards? So Deshaun Watson out for the rest of the year, possibly Mark Andrews out for the rest of the year in that division as well. And so the other thing that happened that I want to talk about in our Arkansas headline report is Draymond Green. Draymond Green suspended, had a big altercation with Rudy Gobert this past week as the Warriors took on the Timberwolves, and he gets in the scuffle and pulls off Rudy Gobert. Of course, a lot of you, if you remember Rudy Gobert is known for the guy that touched the mics and started the long spring break in the NBA, really in professional sports. And so this past week, Timberwolves, Warriors are battling, and there ends up being a scuffle between Klay Thompson and Jaden McDaniels. Next thing you know, Draymond Green is choke holding Rudy Gobert off of Klay and holds him like for 6 to 7 seconds and gets a 5-game suspension. It's his 5th game. It is his 5th time to be suspended in his career. And this is what his coach had to say about it.
And I'm not talking physical violence, and that's inexcusable. To give him help and assistance he needs to be able to draw that distinction between being an incredible competitor, which he's always been. That's why he's in the position he is. That's why he's a player he is. But you can't cross that line across the neighborhood.
Again, that's Coach Steve Kerr, head coach for the Golden State Warriors, talking about how, we've got to figure out a way to control Draymond and he's got to control his emotions and help him to do that. But here's the thing, it's hard enough to win in any professional league. I don't care if it's the NBA, if it's the NFL, if it's Major League Baseball. It's hard to win games, period. It's hard to win games in high school and college when you got to go compete because you've got all these things that you're having to compete in and focus on and work hard and go against game plans and all that. But when you add distractions like this, and Draymond is known for getting technicals and chirping with referees, and obviously now this is his 5th suspension that he's experienced. Now you got 5 games without him, 5 games, and here's the deal: Draymond Green is a good player. Draymond Green plays defense. He does a lot of good things. He's a NBA champion. He's helped lead the Golden State Warriors to NBA championships. But now you've got this look, and it's not a good look for professional athletes when you're choke holding some guy for 5 to 6 seconds or 6 to 7 seconds and trying 6 to 7, not 67 seconds. That's been really, really bad. But 6 to 7 seconds, and you're pulling this guy off. I don't have a problem pulling a guy off of your teammate, but the look of it, the choke hold, and all those things did not look good, and you could tell Coach Steve Kerr was very disappointed on how that looked for Draymond, how it looked for the league. Now, there was debate this week, 5 games. Stephen A. Smith thought it could have been 2 to 3 games only. Jay Williams, formerly he's still with the ESPN, but covering NBA, no longer on the radio anymore with the show. But he said he thought it could have been 10 games or should have been 10 games to set a precedence and set a statement. And that's the thing when you start going to suspend folks, and what do you want your image of your league to be in the choke slam, the chokehold. Of course, Misty talked about a few last week about how the Palace and Ron Artest and all those things. You want your image of the league to be a positive one. So I think a lot of times we see these suspensions, and it just I felt like it probably could have been. I agree more toward Jay Williams, looking that it could have been more than a 5-game suspension, because then it would also, hey, Draymond, let's don't do that anymore. Not only that, but let's think about our temper toward officials, our temper toward opponents. He's also known for hitting his own player last year and Jordan Poole. So Draymond's got some things to work on. He's got 5 days off, and here's the deal: the Golden State Warriors are 6-7 on the year. They lost to Oklahoma City Thunder last night. And so, anyway, just a lot of going on. But Draymond Green suspended 5 games because of the altercation he had with Rudy Gobert this past week. So that is our Lawrence Hall headline report. Again, Lamar Jackson, 2 touchdowns last night, lead the Ravens over the Bengals, loses Mark Andrews in the process, unfortunately. Joe Burrow, wrist sprain, don't know how long he'll be out. We'll see if Jake Browning can help elevate. But that's real quick. That's another thing I want to talk about. That backup quarterback is such a huge, important roster spot to make sure you have somebody that you can put in. Because unfortunately, there's just not a lot Josh Dobbs walking around. We can just pick him off the street, learn your players' teammates' names, and then go out and try to win a game like he's done so far. So that's our Lawrence Hall headline report. When we come back, we'll have our first Bacon Trust Texas Rangers / Major League Baseball report as they released and honored some folks at awards this week. Rangers came up a little short, but bottom line is they're still World Series champs. And so we'll talk about that when we come back with our first Bacon Trust Texas Rangers MLB report right after this. Morning, Mom. What's up? Dad, I hope the weather's good enough to play some golf today. Josh, a little under the weather.
You've enjoyed the Tulsi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite events. The Tulsi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out TulsiLive.com or go like me for Tulsi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall and Avenue. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall and Avenue has been the place to find the best AAA vehicle.
Morning, folks.
The next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us. We're shop 24/7 at Lawrence Hall and Avenue online.com. We're the Abilene next new car dealer for 28 years. Now you are a customer. Pest control. Pest control. Pest control. Big bright yellow truck with the true pest control.
And we can protect the families just like yours with pest problems for 30 years. If you have pest issues, for service or questions, call or text at 325-673-67.
Big bright yellow truck with the true
President at Discount Home Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, sorties, drop-offs, and our state-of-the-art safe and secure facility. We are LDRI shredders. We are here to assist and serve you with construction, private documents, or any of your remaining process that is stuck in the use. Give us a call, 225-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 Roosevelt Street. We'd be glad you did.
From thermostats to energy efficient building systems for your business, technology is making everything smarter. Good thing your touchstone energy formula can help you get smarter, work harder. Today, there are more ways than ever to make your work more energy efficient. instead to go electric and let the power of your co-op. So don't forget, you are the most important one in the country electrical with closed-side offices in Liberty Center and Stanford. Visit our online at mcentry.com. Here's something I really wish. Would you like to stand in the sexual promise and the energy that you had when you were younger? It may be time to get your testosterone tested. At the Restore Wellness Center, we're the local experts in testosterone replacement therapy. So give us a call today at 325-704-5069 to arrange for your testosterone test. We also can assist women in hormone replacement therapy. So give us a call, 325-704-5069.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack as we keep rolling right along in our first 7 o'clock hour. We really only have one 7 o'clock hour. We don't have multiple 7 o'clock hours. But we're glad that you're with us this morning. Hope everybody's having a great day, getting used to the time change, not thinking that it's 10 o'clock when it's only about 6:15. But it is time for our first Bank and Trust Texas Rangers / Major League Baseball report as we start looking at the awards that were given out this past week. They were given out gradually as they started with manager of the year and rookie of the years and worked their ways up. But again, great stuff, great season. Texas Rangers World Series champs, always fantastic. And so, real quick, a couple of Texas Rangers that got some Golden Gloves. Catcher Jonah Heim, Nathaniel Lowe, first baseman, and then also Adolis Garcia winning Gold Gloves for the Texas Rangers. Silver Slug Award winners for the Texas Rangers, Marcus Semien and Corey Seager were the Silver Slugger Awards, and the Rangers were the team. I didn't even know they gave that. Again, Josh is out this morning, not feeling well, but again, Texas Rangers winning some Gold Gloves and Silver Slugger Awards. The Manager of the Years, again, go to this year Manager of the Year for the National League, Skip Shoemaker of the Miami Marlins. In his first year as big league manager, led the Marlins to the 4th postseason appearance in history. And really, you think about Miami. Miami's kind of like Tampa Bay, tough to win at. Yes, there's been some World Series that have been won by the Marlins, but when you think about there's so much to go on at Miami. So again, great job. 33-14 record in one-run game. So Shoemaker is your Manager of the Year for the Marlins for the National League. In the American League, really no surprise. Again, great record all year. Thank goodness that they did not continue to keep rolling because the Texas Rangers eliminated them in the second round of the playoffs. But the Manager of the Year for the American League goes to Brandon Hyde, the Baltimore Orioles manager, 2 years after enduring again. It was kind of the year of the redemption of the 100 lost teams. Again, he piloted the young the O's to 101 wins, and of course the AL East title, and become the franchise's 4th Manager of the Year winner. So Managers of the Year go to the Baltimore Orioles, Brandon Hyde, and Manager of the Year for the National League, Skip Shoemaker. The Rookies of the Year in the National League, guy that we saw a lot, Corbin Carroll, Arizona Diamondback Rookie of the Year, 25 homers, 54 steals, made him the first 25-50 rookie in MLB history, and he is the National League Rookie of the Year. Unanimous vote. I think everybody knew it was going to be him in the National League Rookie of the Year. In the American League Rookie of the Year, it goes to Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Two infield positions, extra base impact all throughout the season. He is the AL Rookie of the Year. He led the Orioles in all rookies in B-WAR, F-WAR, and hitting 28 home runs, 9 triples, 82 RBIs, and scoring 100 runs. So the American League Rookie of the Year goes to the Baltimore Orioles again. A lot of Orioles winning awards this year. Cy Young's awarded. Also, the Cy Young Award winners this year in the National League, Blake Snell. Blake Snell for the San Diego Padres is your National League Cy Young Award winner. Second time in his career winning the Cy Young. His 12 scoreless starts, tied for the most by a qualified starting pitcher since 1969. Blake Snell, your National League Cy Young Award winner. And winning it in the American League was none other than Garrett Cole, New York Yankees pitcher, wins it, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, runner-up, gets the win for the Cy Young for the American League. Again, goes to Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees. And last night, the MVPs were awarded in the National League. Ronald Acuna Jr. Is your unanimous NL MVP. Went 40 for 70 club, 41 home runs, 73 stolen bases. And that, stolen bases, again, this is one of those, unfortunately, again, Josh isn't here. We'll talk more baseball because Josh can talk about baseball any time of the year. But stolen bases is kind of maybe starting to come back a little bit. It used to be a deal. Hey, Ricky Anderson, 100 stolen bases. But again, 40-70 club, Ronald Acuna Jr. Winning the MVP. He paced the NL in runs, 149, 217 hits, had an on-base percentage of .416. And again, so great job on another fantastic year for Ronald Acuna Jr. And in the American League, thought we might have a chance for a Ranger to win that. Marcus Semien, or Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, finishing second and third in the MVP race in the American League, but again, winning the American League MVP. Really no shock, no surprise. It's Shohei Ohtani, two-way player, awarded unanimous vote twice. He led the major league in slugging percentage at .654. His OPS was 1.0666. 44 home runs in only 135 games, with the most in the AL. On the mound, he recorded a .184 opponent batting average and then an ERA of 3.14, 167 strikeouts in 132 innings. And the big question will be for Shohei is where will he play this following his upcoming year as again, he's going to be the hottest free agent on the market. Where will Shohei land? Texas Rangers is one of his teams, but it looks like if I was going to bet, he's going to end up with the Dodgers, maybe the Yankees. But again, we'll see where he lands. But again, the awards handed out yesterday: American League MVP Shohei Ohtani, the National League MVP Ronald Acuna Jr., and of course your Cy Young Award winner for the American League, Garrett Cole. Blake Snell winning the National League Cy Young, and then your Rookie of the Year, Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles, Corbin Carroll in the National League for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Brandon Hyde, Manager of the Year, and along Skip Shoemaker, the Manager of the Year in the NL. And so that is your First Bank and Trust Texas Rangers / Major League Baseball report. And so it's good to have. And now joining us, now that we're rocking and rolling, Misty is here, getting situated in a new spot with Josh out. You got the
this is weird.
do you feel like you're on the wrong side of the bed?
Yes, I'm like, what's happening? I'm supposed to be singing karaoke right now and holding my own mic.
Yeah, the keychain. I've got a lot of stuff coming up. I still call it the keychain. It's fantastic. But again, in our new digs, we got the humming. Shout out to Gary. It's a little farther away from us, so that's getting better. So shout out. So how was the journey in and all the things?
Good. Yeah, great. Friday morning. It's beautiful outside. I think it's going to be like in the 60s today. So it's a good time of year, and yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, and again, we have a lot to talk about. There's been so much that's happened since we had a show last Friday with Jimbo Fisher, Jim Harbaugh, other coaches that have been let go, and we are bringing back for sure the disaster of the week, the disaster of the century. And I've decided in honor of Josh, it's going to be part of the Knowing Is Half the Battle, bringing those two topics together because it blew my mind, and I'm hoping folks out in the, well, we're going to talk about it later.
Yeah.
But it was definitely pretty wild. But looking forward, we talked about our celebrity guest picker is going to be Colby Freeman. Colby Freeman, one of the stud athletes to ever come out of the big country, played at Texas A&M and then played at ACU. And was heavily recruited. By Mac Brown. He was a heavily recruited player.
He's the man. Yeah.
Oh, very much so. And so, looking forward to having Colby. He's been a loyal Hodge Pack, HP1, if you will, Hodge Pack listener for years, and so he's going to be our celebrity guest picker. And we'll get to pick his brain about coaches. His dad was a coach for years, but if you think about Jimbo Fisher and you think about the buyout and what these coaches are making, and yes, they bring a lot of money to the school, and yes, there's a lot of money that happens in football and on the campus and all that. But you're going to have to pay him, and you've got to hire somebody else.
Yeah, and pay him to not coach and hire a new coach. Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's the only profession where you can be mediocre or less and leave a multimillionaire and not do anything.
I'm jealous.
Yes, 100%. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Please buy me out as a banker. Someone, anyone, call me.
I'm pretty sure that can happen. So,
dang it.
So anyway, we've got a lot to talk about. So when we come back, we're going to start talking about a little bit about this college football situation and really the dynamic that not only Jim Harbaugh is doing, Jimbo Fisher, who would be good fits in A&M, and all those things. So we'll dive into that. We're going to have Misty's bag at 7:45 like we always do. She's just only going to be asking one person instead. We may call Josh and see how he's feeling. But when we come back, Misty and I will look at the college football world and how crazy it is right now. 100%.
Okay. Is camera good over there?
You're on. It looks like you're about to take shots.
Yeah. Shots. Okay, got my blades right.
Hello? No, it's not gone. He just moved it. It's in. Yeah. Yeah, it's where the biggest orange stove is.
Thank you. Very fall. Oh my gosh, where's my...
Oh, it's in the other room? Okay. Yeah, I want to plug it up and just do it for now. Okay. Thanks, man. Bye-bye. Are you good talking college football next?
Yeah. How are you? How's your morning?
It's good. It's good. Still just trying to get used to driving in this rental.
That's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it. I'm like, why is this thing trying to come at me? There we go. Maybe do it like that.
I'm still. Are those chairs comfortable?
Yeah. Do you want to switch?
Well, I'm going to move that.
Yeah, I think they're good. Yeah, we could have a whole room full. Oh gosh, I'm scared watching you do that. Don't try this at home.
Hello. Morning, Dad.
I hope this doesn't turn my teeth blue. I didn't even think about that. Oh well, if it does.
I'm just trying to get comfortable. Have y'all ever felt that? Like I feel like I got a new pillow. I feel like I got a new rental car. I don't know if I'm doing windshield wipers or blinkers.
Oh my gosh, the other day I needed to turn on my defroster. I was like freaking out because I didn't know, do I turn the heater on, the AC? Have you ever done that in a car where you're like, crap, the windows are fogging and I can't get rid of the fog?
Yes.
Or is that okay? Because I'm like, is that just a girl thing? I was like freaking out. I almost called Clay to be like, I can't see, what do I do? But then I finally figured it out. But that's like the most nerve-wracking thing when you're driving.
That's wild. 7 Black Friday, get 50% off of something. I don't know. It just says Black Friday. So
You know, that's something that's not as big of a deal anymore.
Black Friday starts months.
Yeah, like
in advance. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
literally Black Friday now and Cyber Monday. And
Yeah, it's not even a thing. Did you ever do like Black Friday? Yeah. Some people like used to get
My
up
friend
at
Amanda,
3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
I don't know if Amanda's watching, but Amanda Shipman and her mom and I think aunt.
every year.
No.
And that's sad.
And they would
for
get
those
shirts.
traditions.
They would get shirts and
That's sad.
well, and the other thing that's gone away is the filming of the crazy.
like that's my TV.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the other thing that's the other thing that's sad.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. There were some good fights back in the day.
So I think what we'll do, college football, the coaching situation, Jim Harbaugh situation, the whole dynamic, your bag, football. Knowing he's at the battle for about 8:15. And about that time, Colby should be here, and then we could revisit the college
Yeah.
football world.
Okay. We're on a tech game tomorrow.
Oh, you are going?
Mm-hmm.
This is the other big thing, is figuring out where the mic goes.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between. We're at the bottom of the hour. Again, our Lawrence Hall headline report. Ravens win last night, 34-20, but lose Mark Andrews in the process, possibly to a season-ending ankle injury. And of course, Joe Burrow and the Bengals fall to 5-5, and also wrist injury out for the possibly. We don't know how long he'll be, but the wrist injury to Joe Burrow. Jake Browning will now be their quarterback. Well, for the foreseeable future, if he bounces back. Of course, Deshaun Watson's out for the year too with his shoulder surgery in his throwing shoulder, so he's done for the year. But that's our Lawrence Hall headline report. And of course, Draymond Green suspended 5 games. The other thing we didn't get to in our Lawrence Hall headline report or our baseball report, the MLB owners approved the Oakland Athletic move to Vegas. So now Vegas is going to be the place for sports for days, and so we'll see if they follow. If ever, I guess my point of that is, will there be A fans that end up still cheering them on? Or are they gonna, like, if your favorite team, it's not ever gonna happen. But if Dallas left and the Cowboys went to somewhere else, would you follow the Cowboys, or would you be ticked off that Jerry, for whatever reason, maybe he got a good deal to move on to Hawaii? I don't know, just something.
That would be weird, but I would follow them because to me it doesn't. I mean, it's not like I'm going to every single game in Dallas or whatever. So I think I would follow them. But if there was a new club that came in, I might start rooting for them. But I think I would follow them.
So you would stay true to the Cowboys.
I would
if they
still
left.
follow them, but I don't. But if there was another team that came in, I may start paying a little bit more attention. Just in our area.
And I guess Dallas is a hard place to be because it's such a staple, and they're obviously not going
Right.
anywhere.
It's hard to even imagine that when we've been fans our entire life.
Well, but like for some people, I'd be curious for those that are listening, and John Pence, I hope you got on the link because I know John's going to want to listen in the 8 o'clock hour. Is like when the Oilers left,
Mm-hmm.
how many people got on the Houston Texan bandwagon really fast, or if it was still frustrating, or did they become Tennessee Titan fans?
That's what I think happened. I think more people became Tennessee fans than Texan fans
That'd be
when
curious.
all of that took place. that's what happened for me. I mean, I grew up watching, obviously, in the Houston area. We've talked about this. I get bashed all the time, because of the Astros. But same thing with the Oilers. I grew up watching them, and then when all of that shifted, I watched the Cowboys too. But then it went from, okay, Cowboys only, and there was no follow there. So
and again, the Oakland Athletics have had a hard time having fans anyway because, well, you see the attendance and they're leaving. And so anyway, I know we're going to talk about
that's a
college
hard
football.
question. I don't know, because I like the swagger of the Dallas Cowboys. I like the arrogance. I just like the Dallas Cowboys and everything about them.
But also the Dallas Cowboys is such a terrible example because they're not going anywhere.
Right.
But the
It's
Houston
hard.
situation is what happened. And then
Yeah.
like when Cleveland, and I'm not saying Houston fans aren't diehard football fans because they're in the state of Texas. But like when the Cleveland Browns left and went to beat the Baltimore Ravens, I'm sure they were heartbroken because it was all about Cleveland and the dog pound and the legendary Jim Brown and all the things that Cleveland was when they moved. But when they came back, it now looks like it almost feels like they didn't really move.
Uh-huh.
Even though the records and all that were part of the Cleveland Browns originally that went to Baltimore, it was almost like because they didn't change anything. Still same colors, still same name. Dog pound, had a stadium. So I just wish.
What about you? I mean, what do you think? What's your opinion on that? Like, would you follow the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, if they're in Florida
Well, I have a hard time.
or wherever.
For me, I have a hard time. Again, Dallas is such a bad. If Dallas moved, for us, it would be the equivalent for the people that didn't like Jerry Jones when he fired Tom Landry. And so when he fired Tom Landry, there's still a lot of people today that they're not Cowboys fans because of that.
Yeah.
So if Dallas, for some reason, because let's say Roger Goodell, because I don't think, it wouldn't happen. But if Roger Goodell thought if he could move Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys to a foreign country to start the first franchise to start playing overseas, maybe they moved to London or they moved to Germany and say, hey, for 5 years, we want you to come to Germany and bring the Dallas Cowboys there, and you're going to play there, and we're going to try to create an even bigger world fan base of having games every week in Germany, and they're coming to play the legendary Cowboys. I would have a hard time with it. I really would, because one, now you've taken away Jerry World, and you can't go there and watch football. I've got to get up and watch them at 8:30 in the morning because
Nobody
it's going to be
wants
really
to do
good.
that.
So I'd have a hard time with it. But it took me a while to adapt to the Houston Texans, even though I didn't. One, they drafted poor Derek Carr's brother David, and they were terrible. But they just the iconic uniforms. Like a few weeks ago when they wore the Oilers uniforms as the Titans. Yeah, you got goosebumps. You saw Ernest Gibbons doing his little dance, and you saw Warner Moon, and so in all that, it's just interesting because you see these fan bases. And of course, Oakland has had a tough battle because the Raiders moved.
Yep.
And then
they do like to move around.
The Raiders go from Oakland, LA, and then let's just take off to Vegas. Now you got the Athletics heading to Vegas, and the Golden State Warriors are more San Francisco, and so if you're a franchise of any of the sports, do you look at Oakland like?
It makes me look at them like they're unstable. A team that's like moving around and bouncing around. It's almost like I don't know, I'll take my profession, mortgage lending or a banker. It's like, man, they've worked at 5 different banks this year. Like, that's odd. It just kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit, in my opinion. I don't know what yours is, but it looks unstable to me. Well,
and when you look at a place like Oakland where in Corey Jenkins texted, loyal listener, HP1, says it shouldn't take long to ask both A's fans what they're going to do. Like, there's only 2 on the planet. And so you look at Oakland, because to me, and I go back to an iconic team growing up, was who the Oklahoma City Thunder used to be the Seattle Supersonics.
Yes.
And I love the jersey and Sean Kemp and Gary Payton and all the things that come with it. And I would like to see a team back in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Why? Never been to Seattle. Don't know. But I would love for them to come. If they were to open up a team in Seattle, I would hope they would do what the Cleveland Browns did. Just bring back the Seattle Supersonics. Maybe you have to buy the franchise name or the naming because maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder still own that name. I would want them to bring back the Seattle Supersonics. Don't create another name. Don't create something else. Just be Seattle Supersonics because those are the things that.
That's a nostalgia for you in our generation growing up.
And that's why you see the throwback uniforms. Now, some of these throwback uniforms that people do, it's like Coach Hagler is going this week. He's going to get to go watch the Green Bay Packers are playing this weekend. And the one game he's going to, they're going to throwback uniforms, but they're like hideous. They're like 1940s or 50s. They're just not the G and the green. And so those things I do think matter. I think that's the reason why people love 106.9 The Country Giant is because the music we play is what they grew up on. The music that we play is what brings back memories, and maybe it's memories of their dad or memories of prom or whatever it is, and that's why people like that. That's why oldie stations or
it feels good.
Well,
it's a feel good.
It's the reason Alabama can go back on tour is because people, one, when they were growing up, they might not have been able to afford the ticket as a high school kid to go listen to Alabama, but now they have a job and they make a living, and so they can go listen to those. That's why I've seen Garth Brooks 5 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you go see him because he's going to sing the old stuff. You're going to remember it. You're going to sing word for word. That's why you see Def Leppard going out still on tour. There's the reason the Eagles have done like 7,000. Hey, we're retiring, but we're not. George Strait has retired.
Okay, Tom Brady.
And so George Strait is playing tonight in Dickies Arena. Yes. He's playing tomorrow night in Dickies Arena. And so all that is because people enjoy the nostalgia. And that's what is great about sports is even like for high school. I mean, there are people tonight, whatever game they're going to, whether they're going to watch a playoff football game or a high school basketball game today, there'll be people in the stands at some point going to have a story when they played.
Oh, yeah, just thinking about that.
And they remember those things, or playing in a tournament or whatever it is. People enjoy that. And so that's what's fun about sports is you can go back and you can go down memory lane and all those things when it comes to sports and it comes to those things. So I know we went on the beaten path and we'll have to literally move college football to the 8:00 hour because we're going to go to break and come back and do Misty's Bag. But I do think when fan bases move, because now you're an Oakland Athletics fan, and again, I know Corey's right. There's 2 people that like the A's. What do you do? I mean, because you don't like the Los Angeles Angels, you're probably not a fan of the Texas Rangers. You're not a fan of Seattle. So who do you start rooting for? And do you desert baseball? And again, I know that the fan base that watches that watches the A's, MLB's not going to lose any money off of them. They're going to be fine. It's not like, oh goodness, we lost an account. But it'll be interesting to see what that group of people that have their baseball team move, because even though there's not a lot of A's fans, and like Corey said, the Oakland Athletics were a iconic group at a time when Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, they win a World Series a few years, they back in the day, the Bash Brothers, Zane Sides, again, we love our HP1s that listen. Zane said they'll probably become Giants fans because at least you can cheer on the National League team. You're not going to root for the American League guys that are left behind. I'm just glad we live in Texas, and for the most part, our teams aren't going anywhere.
Right. That would just be so weird if the Cowboys ever went anywhere. Right. I can't even imagine that happening.
Well, and it's not. I mean, that's like you want to talk about never, ever again in honor of Taylor Swift and Travis
Kelce. We are never getting back together.
That's never going to happen. So anyway, that was in our attempt to start our college football playoff and college football segment. We will talk about that in the 8:00 hour. But when we come back, we're going to open up Misty's Mulligan's Bag right after this. That actually was a fun segment.
Yes, it was. See, when we go off the rails a little bit, it's fine.
Oh, 100%. Hey, and I sat the whole time. What's up with that?
Yeah, that was a little weird. So professional, just sitting there.
My legs not hurting.
Oh,
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you want to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 1750. Potosi Live experience.
when it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall and Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall and Abilene has been the place to find the best in Chevrolet.
Well, we talk about so did you end up listening to the board meeting?
Oh my gosh. You talk about cringeworthy, how we were talking about that. Yeah, that was
But did you see?
crazy.
That's what I was trying to tell you to do, and I meant to shut this door because.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, that was absolutely terrible. Oh, those are cute shoes. Oh my gosh, I love those. Yeah, I love that. I love that neon. Are those comfy?
I love
They're so cute.
But the trade home shoes, highly recommend them. They're fantastic. Here in the mall.
Oh, I didn't even know that was here. Cool.
And there's another new store about to come in, which is cool for the mall.
Yeah, that is good. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we definitely need to find or do the disaster of the.
But we're going to combine that with knowing South Valley.
Yeah, that is wow. Like I've never seen anything like that. And I started like rationalizing it in my brain, like, okay, why wouldn't a school want that? Or these particular people? I'm like, okay, there's either some personal issues between them and maybe the coaches, some of the maybe parents, the girls that play there. They don't like the sport because it's softball, it's not baseball or football. But man, yeah, I would be raising some hell. If my daughter, as a softball mom, if my daughter just won a state championship and was being treated like that from the school,
Here's the deal, Misty.
I'd be pissed.
The money's raised.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Costs the school nothing.
That's why it makes me think there's a vendetta against somebody in the coaches or parents, or they're just like, no, softball, nobody cares about softball. Why do we need something saying it's, I mean, if it was football or baseball, it'd probably be there, but because it's a woman's sport, nobody cares about, we're not gonna pay any attention. I mean, I don't know, but it makes you wonder. So,
Yeah.
But I don't know that. Yeah, it was so cringy. I was like, I cannot. Like, I read all the comments. I wanted to like get all up in there and comment, but I was like, don't say anything. But I did share it. Like, get your life together. Hopefully, the parents can and the kids get the kids at the next meeting and band together because that's crazy. Where's the petition that we need to start?
I'm trying to find, did you see the post I put on our page about everybody send me pictures of the monuments at your school?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, and I'm like, it just puts them on the map too. Like any sport, a state championship.
Yes.
I just can't. Are we doing a Thanksgiving show?
Huh?
Are we doing next Friday show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you here or gone?
No, I'm here.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between as we're rocking and rolling here on this great Friday. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Your weekend set with a lot of fun. Congratulations to those that are still in the football playoffs. Congratulations to the Roscoe Plowboys winning last night over Windthorst. Of course, a lot of games tonight. Wiley going to play against Argyle at Tarleton. Abilene High is playing Denton Geyer. also Cooper's playing College Heritage, and of course a lot of teams still in it. And we'll get into that a little bit later on in our 8 o'clock hour with our Big Country Electric My Town segment. We'll go through those games, but right now it is time to open up Misty's bag.
All right, so I'm going to take it easy on you. Real quick, though, I want to give a shout out to Mulligan's Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. If you have not been to Mulligan's, get out there. They've got all the things going on all the time. Live music, golf, great specials, great football specials, buckets of, beer specials, all the things. All the time they're having benefits for local families. They posted one yesterday. Christina, who's one of the staff members there, they are doing a benefit for one of her family members, a little baby. And so we really want to support that family and just have a big showing for that. And that is going to be December 3rd from 1 to 7 at Mulligan's. That's 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive. And also keep them in mind for the patio. It's free. Christmas parties coming up. So get with Mulligan's to book your party. Speaking of parties, holidays are coming. Okay. Again, I'm going to go easy on you because Joshua's not here to, bounce off of. So what is your Mount Rushmore of the worst Thanksgiving sides?
Well, here's the deal.
I know you don't eat like a child, chicken nuggets.
Yes.
And so this, you're probably going to say everything, but.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I would say that I'm not a fan of and won't really touch, because I do love dressing. Dressing is probably one of my favorite parts about
I'm
Thanksgiving.
kind of surprised that you've even ever tried dressing.
Oh, love it.
So
Fantastic.
will you try a food or you just look at it and you're like, nah, not my gig?
Well, I'm going to tell you, appearance does matter.
Oh no, one honeybee. It totally does.
Appearance does struggle. Now, for 33 years, I did not touch guacamole.
Because it doesn't look pretty.
No, nothing says, hey, try me.
Yeah, that is true.
If it could text out a caption, nothing says, here, I look like baby poop. Give it a whirl.
Yeah, put a chip in me.
Yeah. And so but Becky Morris at the co-op was known for world famous guacamole. So I thought, well, I can trust Becky. She's not going to lead me astray. So I tried it. It was really good. So I like guacamole now. But the funny thing is, I will not just eat an avocado. Like if you just give me the avocado, no, I need it to transform into guacamole. So,
that's funny.
Because
That's
I'm very similar to
tomatoes and ketchup. Clay's the same
100%.
way. Yeah.
I need a tomato.
Either. Yeah.
The texture, the slimy, but if it will transform like into Clark Kent the Superman, which is into ketchup or salsa,
Yeah.
I can make it work. So when I think about, honestly, the Thanksgiving things that I just not a fan. Turkey's fine. I would prefer ham.
Me too.
I'm a ham person over turkey. Good turkey's great. Clay's watching now on our Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Don't forget to go to hodgepacksports.com where you can send your picks in and all those things. And we'll still have picks later. Again, Kobe Freeman's going to be our picker. Not trying to dodge it because I've got one that I absolutely will not touch.
I've got such a weird one that happened at one of the Thanksgivings. Like, I can't wait to share what it was, but I want to hear.
Well, and I'm not a black eyed pea person.
Oh, me neither.
And all these people that think you got to have these black eyed peas before you kick off your new year.
No, it's giving me bad luck.
Well,
if I'm eating black eyed peas, it's bad luck.
Well, here's the deal.
For me.
I'm going to just let the Lord carry me, not the black eyed
Yeah,
peas.
exactly.
Number one. Number two,
Yeah.
So I don't mind green beans, but if you have a bad green bean, it's terrible.
Do you like real green beans or like the canned green beans? Like when you go to like a fancy
I don't
dinner.
like the long ones.
Like the long ones that are like crunchy. See, give me like Del Monte, like from the can. Let me put some bacon in there
Yes.
and some butter. Okay.
Yes, it should just be a dessert.
I didn't realize there was a fancy green bean.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Robert Lee. Like, what is a fancy green bean?
It's a green bean that should not be put on a plate ever. So yes, Thanksgiving's coming up. So when it comes to things, and I'm trying to think out loud, like I have zero. Here's the deal. I love dressing. Love dressing. Could care two about the gravy. I don't need the gravy.
And is it like giblet or giblet?
I have no idea.
Like if it's
Giblet,
called
hey.
jib or gib, I'm not interested.
Giblet, none of it to me. I don't want any of it. I don't want any.
But
desire.
like our listeners, please correct us. Is it giblet or giblet? Because I need to
And so
know.
if you type it in the Facebook chain or on our page or send us a text, tell me, is it giblet or giblet? Because either way, I'm not giblet in it or giblet in it. I'm not eating
Giblet gravy, giblet gravy.
And so I was talking this
I don't
yesterday.
know.
So I went out to Holly yesterday, and there was their Thanksgiving lunch where parents come eat with
Yes.
kids and all that. And what I love about dressing is I want a little crunch to it,
Oh,
almost like the
yeah.
sides, like it's a brownie.
Yes,
That-
give me the corner piece.
That's what I want of dressing. So I'm a fan of dressing. There's this thing that always pops up at Tracy's family, pink salad stuff. I have zero desire to that. It's a texture thing.
Yeah.
Don't do well. So Mount Rushmore stuff, I could care less about giblet gravy. I mean, I don't think it's terrible.
Gib or gib. Okay.
The-
What is it? Like, what is a giblet
I don't
or
know.
a giblet?
Will Donovan's got an emoji bringing, like, I think it's
Is
throwing
it
up.
throwing up? But like, what is a giblet or a giblet? I need to know how to say it because I'm sounding very uneducated right now. I'm about to Google this.
But here's the other thing about that is the people that like gizzards. I don't have any desire to eat gizzards.
Okay, so gizzards, giblet. Maybe
Maybe they're
on
related.
the same.
Yeah.
I think it's like a internal body part.
It just sounds like you're eating a jugular.
Like, is it a muscle? I think it's something internal inside of an animal.
Zane, if you're still listening, which I know you may be, send us a text then because you're always on that, or Grant or somebody.
Somebody, yeah,
But
I need to know how to say this.
So when I start thinking of sides, the one that just drives me crazy that I will not touch, I will not eat, I will not attempt, I don't care how many times somebody has a fancy tray, parts and pieces of the turkey is what Will is saying is the giblet gravy or the giblet.
It says it's edible, quote, other parts. I am not sure
That's
what,
basically-
quote, literally, quote, other parts.
The fact that you can't tell me what the other parts are,
Yeah,
like if
I
you've ever
can't.
seen The Great Outdoors,
Ew.
great movie
Ew,
with
David.
John Candy, they tell you what hot dogs are made out of. I'm not going to go there because I can say that on air.
Oh, cool. It's also the remnants of a kill, the slang expression. Yeah, this is going nowhere. I will not be eating anybody's giblets, or
No.
gravy at the Thanksgiving dinner.
Mom says some people make giblet gravy out of broth and cream of chicken soup, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not-
I can't have any like crunchies or
no,
anything.
not
in it.
having it. So I'm going.
Okay, so is that on your list? The
yeah,
gravy.
giblet. Boom.
Okay,
yeah.
boom, gone.
But I'm not really much on the cranberry or yams or whatever. I have transformed, and I don't know if it's considered a bit of a grown up now. I really like sweet potatoes. Like
Oh yeah, me too.
granite brown
Marshmallows?
sugar. Nope.
No
No.
marshmallows? Oh.
Okay. So in honor of Josh, he's not here. Leanne makes a pretty good sweet potato deal.
Leanne makes a pretty good everything.
So, but the marshmallows on top, don't need them. The only marshmallows I like are Lucky Charms. I don't have any desire for the little white ones. They're nasty. The texture's gross. So I have to I'll show you.
See, I like it.
I have to go underneath and bring the sweet potatoes on top. But the thing that I don't like, and it's disgusting, and I don't care how fancy the trays are, never going to put one in my mouth, are deviled eggs.
I thought you were going to say that. I am so disappointed. And if my husband's listening, it is a staple. Like,
You know what I call them? I call them dirty diapers. The egg is the
I
white
know
diaper.
they don't look pretty.
Not-
It's
not-
just like the guacamole.
No way.
You've got to just put it in your mouth. You have to. It's so good.
What is a deviled egg? Tell me what's
Okay,
in it.
I will tell you. I make them, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot toot. I am really good at making deviled eggs. Okay, my husband loves them, and he is a critic of deviled eggs because he loves them. So literally, boil the eggs, cut them in half, get the yolk. With the yolk, you've got like a mixture of stuff going in. Like I put Miracle Whip, some seasonings, pickles, dill pickles. Very fine dill pickles. Some people get nuts and put like jalapenos and all this stuff. I don't do all that. Keep it simple. and then garlic powder, onion powder, just some seasonings in there, salt and pepper. Throw it all together, mush it up, put it in one half of the egg. I'm telling you, it's so good.
But here's the other reason why I'm not still not going to eat. Is I'm not a big egg guy anyway. My dad makes really good eggs. Tracy's brother makes pretty good eggs, but I'm not a big egg guy anyway.
See, I love eggs.
And so like the white and all that, every once in a while, and here's the deal. If I'm going to eat eggs, like a fried egg, I want it medium, and I'm going to get hash browns to pile on it and crunch it up. So I don't like eggs for the most part anyway.
Deviled eggs is like the worst Thanksgiving side.
It really, I would go deviled egg, just boom.
I am shocked.
You're shocked that would be mine?
Well, are anybody's? Like, I don't know. I feel like deviled eggs are such a staple.
Well, I'm not saying they're not a staple. So is giblet gravy.
Ew.
So
jibs, whatever.
The giblet and giblet gravy, the other parts is a staple. And the other parts.
I am disturbed. It says, quote, other parts.
Yeah. It's basically like, hey, well, that stuff left over. Throw that over here. We'll give it to go.
Gross. That's like bologna.
So we got about a minute. What is yours?
So one time I went to a Thanksgiving and they had cauliflower that was like covered with like a mayonnaise and like cheese sauce. I'm not really sure what it was. We told Ethan that it was mashed potatoes, so he tried it and it wasn't. And I don't know how that came up. Sounds like an old family recipe that needs to retire. So that would be, and
it was what?
It was cauliflower with like mayo and some sort of cheese sauce mixed on top of it.
Yeah, it's not a staple. Somebody stumbled onto that and thought it was a good idea.
Well, it's disgusting. So that is it. You know, another one that I actually love that a lot of people don't is the pea salad.
Negative goes right.
Like I'm telling you, my pea salad is the bomb. But yeah, the cauliflower, but I guess I would have to go with the gravy. I mean, I'm trying to think. I guess I'd have to go with the gravy and that cauliflower mayo cheese thing.
And I think, and again, we're going to go to commercial. We're going to move into the 8 o'clock hour with our Coleman County State Bank hour, moving into it. All those, basically, they're not so much terrible, but bottom line is they're very overrated. So do not feel bad. Kids, adults, if you don't want to give it, giblet, or the other parts, we'll be back.
Okay, I gotta know, how do we say it? I'm about to Google. Okay, here we go.
What do y'all think?
Okay, is this gonna play?
All right, Dad says, I agree with Misty. Something personal is going on there. I don't know what that meant.
Giblet.
Oh,
He said giblet. Giblet. But it's spelled with a G. So you want to say giblet, but it's giblet.
Well, it's like how many people are Jerry?
Like literally had to look. But yeah, look. Remnants of a kill. Gibbs or jibs.
The other parts.
I can't. Yeah. Nobody wants to eat your other parts. That's disgusting. Ugh. Ew. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have looked that up. I will never look at that the same now that I know what it is. Yeah, no, it's very. Yeah, just make like a regular brown gravy. Like, why do you have to throw?
Well, and that's the other thing. Like Tracy's dad's the same. That's not a fan of gravy.
It's like chunky gravy. I've seen it before.
Oh yeah, softball mess. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a chunk, literally a chunky gravy. Gross.
It is gross.
So where will y'all go eat Thanksgiving? Or do you know yet? Do y'all have plans? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we need to bring back disaster of the week. There's been a lot lately.
I don't want to make it the
You don't want to what?
I don't want to. I'm not going to make that part of the. Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack as we have moved into our Coleman County State Bank hour number 2, 8 o'clock hour rolling along. It's time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment. Of course, a lot of times right now you got playoffs going on, getting coaches and stuff, but we want to highlight local players, coaches, and programs. And we are going to highlight a lot of schools, those that played last night. Again, Roscoe, congratulations. Roscoe's won 50-22 over Winslow. Coach Freeman, who's pretty sure related to, oh yeah, we got people blowing up the Facebook, and yes, we will be talking about that a little bit later. It will. We're going to get to that. Will, I didn't want to make that the My Town segment because yeah. But anyway, so again, games last night. Coleman won. Coleman lost to Marlin 30-28. Dillon loses 55-12 to Italy, not the country. And then of course Roscoe, again, congratulations to them last night. Tonight, games all across. Of course, Albany's still playing. Stanford plays Stratford tonight. That'll be a tough one. And then Holly is playing Panhandle. Again, Abilene High is playing Denton Geyer. Cooper's playing Colleyville Heritage. And then Wiley's playing Argyle tonight in Stephenville. So a lot of games, a lot of folks still playing round 2 of the high school playoffs. Want to talk real quick. Something, again, we're here at the mall. Great to be here in the mall. A lot of stuff. We're still moving in, getting things situated. So can't wait when we really kind of open everything up and people come see us. But the mall's great. Starting to see some excitement here as always. But again, we're great to be here, and our Potosi Live studio is now at the mall. But one of the things that's in the mall is the Big Country Hall of Fame Museum. Al Pickett, if you know him, he's been around covering sports, was in the paper forever, and has the Big Country Hall of Fame. And this week, tomorrow, Max Williams has been called the father of pro basketball in Texas. He was the first general manager of the Dallas Chaparrals in the Old American Basketball Association, the ABA, that eventually became the San Antonio Spurs. And he's going to be here at the Big Country Hall of Fame Saturday, tomorrow from 1 to 2:30, signing his book. And so if you want to come see a legend, Max Williams is not a couple other things it says about Max Williams. There's the book. Max Williams should not have been a great basketball player. He was too short. He came from the small Texas town of Avoca. He had only 12 in his graduating class, but nobody could stop him or slow him down. Max Williams became the all-time scoring leader for Texas high schools. He was an All-American at SMU, a flashy passer, and a deadly shooter. So if you want to meet a legend tomorrow, Big Country Hall of Fame from 1 to 2:30 tomorrow at the Big Country Hall of Fame. located in the Mall of Abilene next to JCPenney's. A lot of stuff in there. I mean, if you ever talk to Al and go through the people here in the big country that have made huge impacts, like one day I could see Colby Freeman being in it. But again, you got Case Keenum, the different players that are from the big country that are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and just a lot of great stuff there. And so, but now we're going to bring something back again. Big Country Electric, thank you so much. They do such a great job serving their members each and every day, supporting these schools. Roscoe, they got some service area, still playing and Stanford, and all those things. Again, congratulations to the Anson Tigers. Came up short last week, but a great job making the playoffs. Coach Corey McCombs here, home of Anson Tiger football. But now it is time to bring something back. And as you hear, well, this is a combination, and it's a good thing. If we have to roll it in, we will. It's a combination of disaster of the week, disaster of the century, and knowing is half the battle. This past week, of course, I kind of got pulled into it on Facebook. A friend of mine posted, "Hey, you probably." Appreciate it. Lauren let me know. Denton Ryan is who Abilene High is playing, not Geyer. Again, that's why we like listeners.
Love Lauren.
We do. We like people listening. Thank you to Lauren.
She's the best.
Abilene High is playing Denton Geyer. Denton Ryan. Thank you, Lauren.
Giblet.
We'll get it right.
We're going to get it.
Abilene High is playing Denton Ryan. That's where Lauren went to school, was Denton Ryan. So that's.
Love it. Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to combine the knowing is half the battle and knowing disaster of the week. This past week, so congratulations. In fact, we had this Coach Winters, on the show last year when the Hermleigh Lady Cardinals won the state championship in softball. This past week, I'm pretty sure, and somebody's going to let us know if I'm wrong, this past week there was a school board meeting. In the school board meeting, there was a motion made to have a monument put, I believe, at the softball field or somewhere on campus, recognizing, honoring the state champion. The first ever, only state championship Hermleigh has won, and a guy motioned. First motion. In order to get all in favor say aye, you have to have a second motion. Crickets. There was never a second motion to take it to a vote. The Hermleigh School Board did not get a second motion to vote for a monument to be put on campus to honor and recognize state champion Hermleigh Lady Cardinal softball team. The monument was paid for, cost nothing, and they denied it. So I had a friend of mine say, "Hey, Ryan, you ought to talk about this on the Hodge Pack." I felt kind of cool because it felt like it was breaking news, but I have no idea. So disaster of the week, disaster of the century. Here's the thing. I mentioned it in the Lawrence Hall headline report that winning a game in the NBA, the NFL, the Major League MLB, the NHL, a PGA Tour event, college, high school, all the way down to Little League. Winning games is hard. Winning championships is harder. And when you win a state championship, I don't care what it's in. Roby Lady Lions just won their third, and I may be wrong, they won a state championship in basketball. They won state champions in track last year. They just won the state championship in cross country. State championships are hard. Even like good people. Denton Ryan had times where they were good. They won state championships. Alito, seems like they do it all the time. But winning state championships are very difficult. And at places like Hermleigh, places like Jim Ned, when they've won two at the girls basketball level, they've won a football. Crop of kids don't just flow all the time.
Right.
And when you win a state championship, it is a big deal. And the fact fact that they did not want to put a monument up blows my mind.
Yeah, so whenever you sent that out and I pulled it up, obviously I'm a softball mom. My daughter loves softball and she's pretty dang good at it. I mean, she's about to be 11 in February, but and as a woman, I feel like I can say this, but we talked about this in the break. It makes me wonder if this was football, if this was baseball, I think the monument, it's a no-brainer. So we've got to look at, is this because it's softball? Is there a personal vendetta between some of these school board members and the coaching staff or some of the parents? I mean, it's a small town. If you're from a small town, you know how it is. You even think about something and it's all over town. Lots of drama can happen in a small town like that. And so it just makes me wonder, what is the reason? Because there is no reason.
The reason that one of the things that I was told was they didn't want it to look like a graveyard.
Which is just asinine. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous and frankly really ticks me off, because these kids deserve to be recognized for winning. And I mean, I can't understand why a school would not want to honor the team that just brought home a state championship that honors their school. The only one. Like, I don't understand it. It makes me sick. As a parent, I would be, oh man, they better be glad that it's not my kid, because I'd be all over that meeting.
Well, as a school board, when you deny something like that, to me, it says
it's personal. It is not about the kids at that point, and that's what ticks me off.
Well, and there's no rhyme or reason why you would even do that.
No.
I mean, you just won a state championship. I mean, we honored, and rightfully so, those Wiley kids that went to the finals and almost won a World Series at the Little League level. The honor that they got, the things that they were rewarded.
They're still getting recognized. They were at the junior achievement breakfast the other day.
But I want to thank all those that showed these monuments. Coach Lewis from Jim Ned shows the Jim Ned State Championship. Westbrook, right up the road from you.
Mm-hmm.
They won 2 state championships. And shout out Zoe, Coach Matlock. Hope Zoe's still doing good. Shout out to you. Still praying for her recovery and all those things. But it blows my mind. And you can watch it.
Oh yeah, it's so cringy.
And the board members are like, their heads are down. They don't want to make eye
Oh,
contact.
it was planned before they even walked in the dang door. Like, you can tell everybody just puts their head in. I think it was his name John, the guy that was making the motion, and he's like, I mean, he's even looking around like, what is going on? Like, why can't I get a second?
Right.
So yeah, that decision was made long before they walked in there. It's just sickening. Yeah, like I said, I hope that it gets overturned and the town goes wild over that.
If I was a parent, and here's the deal, your coach winners, these are your bosses, these are your people, so he can't really say anything, even though I'm sure he wants to say a lot of things.
I'm sure,
as a coach. And I even put out, did they get state championship rings? And they did. They raised some money to make that happen. But I go back to it and I look, and Tracy, I tell this to Tracy all the time, and I had 2 teams at Merkel or at Roby where we had a chance. Now, one year the UIL had this stupid thing called the Texas Cup, and if we'd have beat Throckmorton, we'd have been technically in the state tournament, but we wouldn't have been at the drum. But that's a whole nother thing. Every time I look at my Hardin Simmons ring when I wear it, Tracy, I tell her all the time, I would love that for it to be a state championship ring, mm-hmm. or a conference championship ring. You see them, Hardin Simmons has them, Kobe probably has a desk full of them and all those things. But it's a big deal to win a state championship
at any level.
And exactly right. And we saw that.
Any sport, any level, it's all the same.
And we saw that. And you can go to the Big Country Hall of Fame and go check out Max Williams tomorrow. But the Country Hall of Fame, they brought in state champions. They do it for cross country. They do it for tennis. They do it for basketball. If you make it to the state tournament, they recognize them at the Big Country Hall of Fame. I guarantee you, I bet the Hermley girls have been in the Hall of Fame down there because when they won the state championship. We're going to go to assistant real quick because I'm not done with this. I can do that. It's my show. And I'm like you, and we've got people responding, and mom says maybe a kid didn't play. There's a chance a kid got to play. I mean, it's not a very big school. She got to play. But if you're Coach Winters, and here's the deal. There was a time, because I coached at Roby, we would play Hermley, and it was a guaranteed win. Guaranteed win. Didn't have to play real hard. We're going to beat Hermley. Coach Winters and those guys have created. They play well in football. They play well in basketball. He was the coach when they took him to the regional tournament. I mean, he does a good job. They do a good job. They got kids playing. They're playing hard, and they're winning a state championship. And so when you try to tell me now, for me, not to eat a deviled egg, it makes sense. It looks like crap, but not to put a monument for girls that win a state championship, and you have a guy make a motion, and then it's crickets, and you don't have a reason, and you use the thing like graveyard. And maybe Hermley's going to win 100 of them. If they win 100 of them,
Let's
put 100,
do it.
put
Let's
100
put them all
monument.
out there, and let's start a graveyard of Texas-shaped monuments.
And so again, Westbrook posted one, Jim Ned posted one, Holly just got one. They won a state championship. I don't know if Albany's put one up yet, but
I can't help but think if it was football, this would be a much different conversation. I can't help but think that it's because it's softball that it's different. I just feel like if this was a football state championship, this would not even be a thing.
well, my thing,
Or baseball or whatever else. But because it's softball, and I'd love to get them in here and ask them all. I mean, I'd lot them up.
what's going to be interesting is how many people are on the ballot for school board in May.
Oh yeah, and people
Because-
better get out and vote these people out because they're not for the kids. This is a
if you
personal.
start doing that, and again, I'm not mentioning names, but I am going to mention the community. And congratulations, this is not from Coach Winters. This is not from
Right.
anybody from Hermley that says that we should have talked about this. I had a friend of mine that I guess was in the feed on Facebook that reached out and said, "Have you seen this?"
I'm glad he did.
And you know, here's the thing: humility's tough, and admitting you're wrong is really tough. But somebody needs to say, you know what?
You got this way wrong.
We don't even need another board meeting. We need to just go do it, put it up, get ready, and that way, when that softball season starts, people can see it. People can say, "Hey, let's go get another one." All the things, because and Coach Hopper who's now at Wiley, took the Hermley girls to the state tournament. I can't remember how many years in a row, but they've created a respectable athletic program. And then when you say you're not good enough or it's not worthy enough of a monument that's paid for,
Right. Yeah, that's the
That's
other
paid
kicker.
for.
It's
it just blows my mind. So our it's just the disaster of the week, disaster of the century. Knowing is half the battle is to do better.
Absolutely.
And as a school board member, you have a responsibility to make policies and hire the superintendent, but you also have a responsibility to make smart decisions for the kids that you are representing. You are this Stan Lambert. They are your constituents. They are the ones that you are making decisions for. And when you can't get a second, here's the deal: didn't even get to vote on it.
No. Yeah. Kudos to the guy that tried.
But
I'd love to interview him.
But here's the other thing that ticks me off. Didn't even get a chance to say all in favor, say aye or nay. Never got to the table. So it'll be interesting to see how crowded. There may be people from nowhere near Hermley at the next December school board meeting just to be on the agenda.
Yeah, I'd bring every softball. I'd be like, "Come on, girls, we're going to this meeting." Like I'm telling you, I'd light them up. I would light them up.
So again, that is our disaster of the week, disaster of the century. Knowing is half the battle, all combined into one. And if there was a hashtag, bring the monument, put it up. When we come back, we're going to talk some college football with a legend, and it's not Misty. We'll be back.
Rude. Hello.
Hi, guys.
How are you? Okay,
So how many school board members are at Hermley?
I think there was, let's see, there was a lady on the end. 1, 2, 3,
I feel like I'm in the midst of some celebrities.
I don't know.
We're low budget actors.
Yeah, we
Huh?
are. We're the B team.
We're low budget actors.
B actors. Man, yeah, that got me fired up. It's not very much that gets me going like on the show, but man, that is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm holding it here.
Yeah.
Hodge, no deviled eggs?
No.
Really? I was in the same boat. If you go to, what's that place called? Cork and Pig?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, theirs are really good.
Wow.
Really
it may
good.
change your.
I just don't think I can.
Please say this on the air.
Well, you get, since
I'll ask my question to you. So Mount Rushmore of the worst devil or worst devil.
yeah,
Worst
deviled
size.
eggs. They are terrible. They are terrible.
And then we went on a rant about is it giblet or giblet and like what's it?
What'd you find out?
So
I was listening. When,
yeah, I think it's giblet.
Yeah.
And it said it literally said in the definition like other parts. We were like, ew.
Yeah.
And then yeah, when you hold it, you'll want to be pretty close.
Okay.
I mean,
You'll be fine.
you'll be loud, but yeah, but you definitely need to watch that video.
Yeah, I want to see
It
it.
is pretty wild.
Is it on my Facebook or off Facebook?
You
page?
put it on your personal and tagged Josh and I in it, and then I shared it.
I just missed it.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. There were 7 at the. I was just pulled it up. There are 7 there. Crazy.
Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between. We all had a little prayer moment to kind of calm down after our disaster of the week, disaster of the century, disaster of all time, and knowing it's half the battle, colliding together. If you missed it, it'll be on our podcast. So be sure to download, subscribe, rate, review the Hodge Pack podcast on your sites, whether you're a Spotify. If you are an Apple Podcast person, you can download, subscribe, rate, and review. We love the 5-star ratings. We never turn those down, like I turned down deviled eggs. But now joining us in our studio again, rolling through. This is what is so great about this time of year. There's so much to talk about. We haven't even touched the Dallas Cowboys, which you can hear on KLGD 106.9. You can hear them this Sunday as they head out to Carolina. We still got the Cowboys to talk about. We haven't even talked about the other team we cover, the Texas A&M Aggies. We're about to do that now. So joining us in studio, a guy that I would also call it HP1. Has been with us for a long time, from old studio to the middle studio and to where we are now. And it is great to have joining us. He'll also be our guest picker a little bit later, but Kobe Freeman. Kobe, appreciate you being here this morning.
Hey, thank y'all. I'm so excited. Like
We're
this
so
is like I couldn't
excited.
even sleep last night. I woke up this morning. I thought this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm thankful for you guys. I moved here from DFW like 7 years ago, where you get like overwhelmed with sports radio. So being here when there was nothing, I look forward to every Friday. So I'm really excited and thankful you guys invited me.
Well, we're excited to have you. Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, I'm sitting next to a legend. Like this, I'm kind of like nerding out right now. I'm fangirling. I think that's what they call it. So this is awesome. We're so happy you're here.
Well,
Thank
and this is the first time. A lot of times we've had our My Town segment, sometimes before Misty's bag, and but we've got on this side right after we've done it. So before we get into Texas A&M football and your journey, and if they're asking you to help pay Jimbo Fisher, you've got to answer Misty's bag question, because I'm a little nervous. I'm still alone on the deviled egg.
I think you are. So my question was, what is your Mount Rushmore of the worst Thanksgiving sides?
This isn't a good way to start. It's going to be it's probably going to be unpopular. Yours, I understood, but I was telling Misty, if you go to what is it? What
Cork and Pig.
Cork and Pig. Those deviled eggs will change your mind about deviled eggs. I promise.
They really will.
I
They're
never
delish.
would try one, and I tried one there, and I changed my mind. But my Mount Rushmore side that I cannot do is cranberry sauce.
Ooh, okay. Are we
can't-
I'm on
talking
board.
in the can?
I'm on board with that.
Or are we talking like the
Period.
mushy?
The
Or
can texture, soft, jelly. I just
See, I love cream, but it's got to be out of the can, baby. Give me the ocean spray can.
Again, I go Misty's pea salad going on my Mount Rushmore. Deviled egg.
Don't knock it till you try
Deviled
it.
eggs going on Mount Rushmore. Your can thing is just plopping out like it's
yeah.
like
And
it's
you have to cut it on the line.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, y'all, it's a whole thing.
it literally
Put
when
it with
you
your
pop it
hand
out,
or
it's like the.
turkey.
I'll be honest with you, and this may have to go.
It does flop out. It is weird. but
It's like the can just had a bowel
I
movement when you
can't
just
quit it. I cannot
boom,
quit
and
it.
just blew it. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna be rushing over anywhere to try double egg because
I
here's
will
the deal.
not be inviting you ever to my Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Ever. Because these are all the things I'm going to have.
But you're gonna have dressing. I can eat dressing. You're gonna have ham. I can eat ham. So I would
mashed
be fine.
potatoes,
Yes.
corn, like
Yes.
a
Yes.
Rudy's corn type with the
Yes.
green
Yeah.
chilies. Okay, but let's go back to Colby. So what else?
The whatever makes up a pink salad.
Okay,
I denied
Hodge
that one
said
too.
that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did. I will deny that too. But I think my family, it's like orangey or
Yeah.
something.
Well, it's pink and it's gooey and there's marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
And I'm just not a fan. I
Mhm.
told you the only marshmallow I like is the Lucky Charm marshmallow. That's it. I don't want the marshmallow white things, the little bitty ones. I don't care how big they are. I don't want to play Chubby Bunny. You know.
Oh my God.
Don't want any of that. And if I have Leanne's sweet potatoes, it's going to be scooped underneath and not touch the.
Okay, so
Marshmallow.
we've got cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
What else?
The pink
The
salad.
pink salad. Okay, 2 more.
2 more?
Yeah. We're on Mount Rushmore.
I put deviled eggs on all 4 of them.
Yeah, he did. He totally cheated.
Yeah.
But here's the other deal. While he's thinking about the other, is let's say I go to Cork and Pick, and let's say for some reason
I want to be there when you do.
I do too.
Like, it's right across from my office.
Yes.
and I try it. Let's say they are great. Say they're amazing.
Yeah.
They are.
But nobody else might make them like them. So now it's going to set the bar here, and everybody else's deviled eggs are going to be down
Okay,
here.
so you can start with mine. They're great, but they're not. I'll own it. They're not Cork and Pig great. I will just say that. So you'll start with mine, and then you'll be like, those are pretty good. And then you'll be like, oh my gosh, because it's gonna knock your socks off when you go to Cork and Pig. Will you put it in your mouth? That's the question.
So Jimbo Fisher.
See? See? He won't. I don't think we'll ever get him to try one.
I mean, honestly, Mom's watching right now. Mom, do you think there's any chance I'm going to try a deviled egg? No.
how much would I have to pay you to eat a deviled egg?
Do it for the people.
I know. Do it for our really softball girl.
Yeah.
Tell you what, hey, board.
If we
Hey,
can
board,
get him to
listen.
eat a deviled egg.
No. If you'll bring the monument back and vote yes, I'll go try one deviled egg.
Okay, that's it. Oh man, I'm
Deal.
gonna get on the phone today
Every board member from Hermley is going to get a certified note letter
from Misty
from Misty
Collier.
Collier. That's
Oh.
right. So anyway, so that's good stuff. Thanksgiving, we can hang out, and because I'm not going to eat any of that, and you can have my deviled eggs. So let's talk. I mean, Kobe, excited to have you in. You played at Texas A&M, and in college football right now, it's the last year of 4 teams, and we've got a chance where we could have a lot of one-loss teams. I would not want to be the committee, but it's their own fault because they set it up stupidly from the beginning for only 4 teams. There's 5 power conferences. They should have had 5 spots at least. They should have made it 6. But Kobe, one of your spots that you played some football at, made a decision this week to get rid of Jimbo Fisher, and it's going to cost the school $76 million. Plus, you've got to go hire a coach. Plus, you've got to pay off some assistants. And I know you didn't finish at A&M, but talk about the A&M culture. I heard somebody say, literally, it happened that morning. We had breakfast, and a buddy of mine said, well, if oil gets to $100 a barrel, he's gone. Next day, he was gone. I don't know what oil was at the time, but he's gone. So A&M football is still a huge deal, and it's still not ever hit that peak except for Johnny winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on all of it?
I
mean, your dad
My
coached for
first thought
years.
is, what would I do with the $26,000 a day for the next 8 years to not coach?
You would, I would have a tea time at a lot of places.
Yeah.
I'd be eating a lot of deviled eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be putting a monument up at Hermley.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would be doing.
No, I honestly, I think that school and the program, the fan base, when they made the decision to move to the SEC, they had a small window to stay in front of the University of Texas. And there was a huge expectation that that was going to happen and that they were going to remain there. And so I'm not surprised at whatever money it was going to take. I think the athletic director put it pretty clearly that he felt like the program was in neutral. I think we probably witnessed that. Something was just not right. Something was wrong. They weren't progressing the way everybody expected to. And the amount of money that they've already put into the stadium, the facilities, what they've already done to just get it to the point that it is today, there's just a level of expectation of excellence and getting it to the point that they've never been before. So,
Well, and I thought about this the other day as I was driving. I don't remember what I was listening to, but we always compare Texas and the Dallas Cowboys together because they both have all this money, they both have facilities, they have all these things, and the expectation is, Sam Ellinger, we're back, or the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to win a divisional championship, we're going to win a Super Bowl, all those things, and we've come up short since 1996. Texas, at least, they won the national championship in 2008, I believe, and then they were a play away from maybe winning another one in 2011 with Colt McCoy, who hurt his shoulder. Then the run of Nick Saban began. Except for that blip of the Johnny Manziel winning the Heisman, they were on the edge, outside looking in 2020, I believe. A&M's about the same way.
yeah.
There's not been a whole lot of things happen at College Station in the football program, except that they hired. I mean, there was a lot of fun. Kevin Sullivan had the run. Cliff Kingsbury showed that he could coach quarterbacks like crazy. Heisman. But they've kind of come up short on repeat. And then when they went to the SEC, and maybe what Texas and Oklahoma are about to find out, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And so in all that, now the hard part is, and the other thing is, the dumbest thing that these people do, these coaches do, or not coaches, these schools, you should never sign anybody to a 10-year contract.
Yeah.
In any profession. Like, that is absolutely crazy. Like, I mean, I just think about, I'm just a banker, but I'm like, if my boss, you don't really know in the beginning. Yeah, there's in any profession. I just don't think you should ever do that, especially with something like this and this amount of money. It's sickening.
And you look at it and it all started, and I don't remember the first one, but I remember Charlie Weiss getting one. And they have one good year and they sign them to a 10-year deal. Here's the thing, and I posted in a video this week. I said, don't say I love you on the first date. And that's basically what these schools do. They have one good year. They have all this, and let's ink him. He'll never want to leave. Here's the deal. And you experience this as your dad being a coach. Eventually, there's the head coaches that have been fired and are going to be fired. Now, don't get me wrong. Nick Saban's going to have to do a lot. We're seeing that now in New England. Bill Belichick is 2-8, and people are starting to say, do we need to fire a guy that's won 6 Super Bowls? Was it Tom Brady? Was it him? Was it and him, the combination? But the 10-year deal, we saw 2 weeks ago. Dabo Swinney. Tyler calls in, rips Dabo rips Tyler, and now you've got a guy who's won 2 national championships in a school that was not very good when he took over. And now it's time for him to, do I stay, do I go? I
think the whole thing's difficult as well with the whole NIL deal coming into that, and the landscape of all athletics completely changing for any coach to develop any culture with the consistency, because you don't know what kids are going to be in the program for how long. Even starting players are transferring to other schools, which was unheard of back when I was playing. And it's just going to be difficult to like sign coaches. For coaches to do what they were doing 2 or 3 years ago when Jimbo was, it's a completely different landscape of what he had to do at A&M today.
And we're going to transfer into commercials, and we're going to come back and not have $16 million or $26,000 a day just to focus. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit but more about that and the dynamic, because here's the deal. all it takes is a Deion Sanders and your players maybe leaving to go play with you. We'll be back right back to this.
Yeah, that is
Because
really
that's the
tough
other
right
thing
now.
is-
Everything's changed.
But
Yeah.
kids today check it in.
Oh yeah.
And if
Well,
things
kids are
aren't going
different,
well
too.
and you me or you do it, I mean, and I look back and again, like a guy like Coach Hutch, who got back in at Stanford.
Yeah.
You know he coached a different way than a lot of these other kids / can be coached today. Could your dad coach in this climate of kids today?
No, because just the level of, I think the level of,
Like expectation.
loyalty.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the loyalty piece is
Yeah, there is none.
out the window.
Yeah.
Well, and
But it's also out the window with coaches if they can be bought out of contracts and go to
They
others.
just rotate them
It's
around.
just it's a business.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a business.
and the other thing about it is there is a piss load of money.
Oh gosh,
So-
yeah. Obviously.
I mean, but when
26,000 a day.
But even if you look at it from a perspective of yes, Jimbo is making that.
Yeah.
But I guarantee it, those other coaches are making six figures, and some of them may be making 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're having to get rid of. I don't know. It just.
And you get somebody like, ACU's starting quarterback last year. He's a starting quarterback at ACU. And yes, he did transfer to North Texas, which is a step up. But this year he's not playing. Oklahoma State's quarterback last year he was at Denton Ryan. He was the starting quarterback at Oklahoma State, transfers to Florida, and has not played at all this year.
Well, and
It's just crazy.
That, yeah.
Well, and
But we don't hear about those parts.
No.
We hear about every single player they talk about is now he transferred from here, he transferred from here, he transferred from. It's crazy.
Well, and Sam Hartman, was at Wake Forest, I believe, and then went to
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And you see these moving around. I mean, Bo Nix. Bo Nix played at Auburn, then is now a chance probably will win the Heisman this year.
Yeah.
Who was the JT Daniels
Yeah.
that was like at USC,
Yeah.
then he went to Georgia, then he went somewhere else. Joe Burrow was at Ohio State and went to LSU. But that's the other thing that we don't talk about is how many people go to a school. Well, Joe Pleasant at ACU, the guy that hit the 2 David Collins. Who's David Collins? Is that the quarterback that went to Florida?
No.
I don't know. Chris is going to respond to that. But Joe Pleasant made the 2 free throws to beat Texas.
Yeah.
Went to Wichita State. Didn't get the experience he thought. Ended up coming back to ACU.
Yeah. Sometimes the grass is not greener.
I do think sometimes the grass is greener. My saying is, grass isn't always greener on the other side, but sometimes it's easier to mow.
Yeah.
But for some of these, here's another one. Is Arch Manning going to hang out in Texas
Yeah. It's going to be
and
very,
sit
very interesting.
and not play?
I can't figure
Because-
out why they're not playing him at all.
I know.
Because he can play 3 or 4 games and still redshirt.
Right.
And they're not even putting him in.
Yeah.
But here's the other deal. If he's the Manning, if he's the player that we think he's going to be,
No.
he's not playing 4 years.
No.
No.
He's going to play 3, and when he's eligible to go to the NFL, he's going to go to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got this other batch of quarterbacks like Caleb Williams. Is he good? Does he want to go? I mean, how much money you're making now as a quarterback in the NIL college world? Do I want to go play for the Arizona Cardinals and be terrible?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty wild.
God, we could talk about.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. What's that, Misty?
I just said, God, there's so much. I was just looking at the clock. I'm like, God, we could literally talk and debate all of this for another hour or two.
Well, and that is so true. And welcome back to the Hodge Pack. We got Kobe Freeman in here, and so Kobe, talk about your elevator. I know it's hard to get the elevator speech, but your A&M, what that was like playing there and then finishing at ACU.
Yeah, it was great. My experience was really unique. I got recruited out of high school by Texas A&M. I fell in love with my quarterback coach, who was Ray Dorr at the time. He coached Warren Moon at Washington University and had a long track history with a bunch of quarterbacks. I fell in love with that guy. I ended up going to A&M. And the rules and some of these things that we're changing or we're talking about were completely different back then. If you were to transfer schools back then, and if I would have gone to another Division I would have had to sit out 1 year to be able to transfer to a Division I school. If I would have transferred within the Big 12, I would have had to sit out 2 years to be able to play at another Big 12 school. So the fact that some of these kids are being, able to just pick up and just put themselves right in a program is really crazy to me. But Coach Dorr was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease when I went to Texas A&M. So it was just a huge deal for me because I got to play one season under him and got to be with him for one season. And then our offense just really completely changed as far as the direction we were going. And I had zero hard feelings. I love my time at A&M. I love Aggies. I love everything Texas A&M.
Who was the head coach when you were there?
R.C. Slocum.
Okay.
Yeah. And I love Coach Slocum. Still keep in touch with him to this day. And he's an unbelievable man. But I got to transfer. I just wanted to play. I'll be honest with you. I probably wasn't going to be a great Division I quarterback by any means. I probably needed to be a linebacker or a safety or something else. But in Brownwood, I just played wishbone quarterback. So it was fun for me. I love my time at Texas A&M. I have no regrets. I have great friends from ACU after transferring. Played for Coach Gary Gaines, and that was fun in itself. And then just to be involved with ACU and see what ACU's done and the direction that they're headed with their program has been really cool.
And it's neat. Of course, you played all your games at Shotwell.
Yeah.
And now they have what they have today. And it shows that facilities do matter
Oh gosh, it's
in
beautiful.
recruiting and
Absolutely.
all that matters today.
Yeah.
And so
when we go to Cork and Pig and you can look over and while you're eating your deviled eggs and we can look right over at the stadium.
Yes. It's
Won't
right
that be
out
fun,
my
Misty?
window.
Yeah,
Oh
there
yeah,
you
it's
go.
right out my window.
Yeah.
I have
There you
the stadium.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
my mom told me that when I tried chicken and dumplings for the first time, I ate and went right back into the bowl. It was pretty
Oh,
good.
gosh.
So chicken and dumplings, another overrated.
Disagree. Gosh.
Big disagreement
You are
there.
not living right.
But now the college football world is such a. I mean, we talked about the money, but the entertainment factor that we're seeing and what Dion's done. Now they threw this. I saw this on. I think it was on First Take. Is Dion? If Dion doesn't make a bowl, is his 4-6 record a failure?
I don't think so. I mean, I love what and I know this is a hot take, and you're either on or you're off, but I like what he's done. He's kind of brought the energy back there and kind of put them back on the map, in my opinion. And so for me, it is a win, all of what's been happening in Colorado. That's just my personal opinion.
Because when we were growing
We're
up, Colorado
building
was
on
a
something.
program that had some success.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think he's kind of rejuvenating that. And I like Dion. I like his swagger. We talked about this. I like what's going on there. I know, like I said, it's a hot take, but I'm here for it.
See, I think this season is not the most important one. I think it's next year.
Yeah.
I think what do you do? Let's say they go 4-6. They could win tonight and may win next week and get bowl eligible. But what do you do next year?
Yeah.
Can you sustain it? It's no different than when RG3 went into the league and was really good. Now, he had got hurt, so he's not a great example. But you have a great first year. Johnny Manziel wins the Heisman. What do you do the next year?
Right.
So I think that's where it's going to be the most important for him will be that. So what's your thoughts?
I was completely against it at first, and I thought this is ridiculous, and I thought it was just kind of an embarrassment almost to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go in and get rid of 70 to 80 players that are in the program day one that committed to that school and just basically run them out. And it just shows what it is a business. It is different than it was
And it's the climate.
2 years
Right,
ago.
absolutely.
Yes. And I love what's going on there. I don't love the changes with the players leaving and bringing a whole new group in, but I love what that man is speaking into young men, and I love what he stands for, and it's consistent and it's different. And you can't really, you can knock it from the outside, but if you really pay attention to the words that he is saying and the fact that he is fathering a bunch of kids with an orphan spirit that come into that program, it's incredible.
Oh, it's
So I have
life-changing.
turned
It's
into a
huge.
fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
and-
very good
And
take.
it's very contagious.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we're going to do our picks, and we'll end the show and head into the weekend.
I could hang out with you guys forever.
I'm not kidding. Today, I'm like, I wish it was a 3-hour show. I'm like, it's gone so fast.
That is
These
very
little
true.
doors are so cute. They were not here last week.
You look very Western.
But I near.
Hodge, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. It's fun.
It's just good to be sitting down with you, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Put me on the spot with my two schools I went to first show.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure why Josh picked that one.
Well, if you, I just decided I'll let the percentage dial on ESPN decide this for me, and it's 99-1.
So on some of these,
Are you supposed to fill that out?
yeah, I'll send it to Josh. All right, do you have A&M?
Yeah.
I think all those will have A&M. Utah, Arizona,
Utah, TCU. Who's next?
Tech, UCF,
I got Tech,
K-State, Kansas,
K-State.
Washington, Oregon State.
I can't wait. Oregon State.
All right, you got Oregon State with an upset. Iowa State, Texas.
They were actually favored on FanDuel's.
Oregon State's favored to
They
beat
were
Washington.
They were favored on FanDuel's -2.5
They're playing
at one
right?
point.
Yeah.
At
Wow.
one point. I don't think they are now, but they were.
Texas, Iowa State.
Texas. But it's going to be closer than people think, even though I love Texas.
Bills, Jets.
Jets,
Me too. Eagles, Chiefs.
Chiefs,
Me too.
Cowboys.
All right, let's see what else. No, not sure why that one guy from Hermley said the link didn't work. It's been working the whole time for me.
You probably
Will,
took it down.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I just saw it on mine, the video I shared, but
I was getting
Will
ready to
Donovan
get a car
said,
with Misty and head out there.
I don't know. That's what Ryan said. He's like, he's coming before, man. That was good. Like, he likes
What
when
if
we
you
get
just
fired
What
up.
if you just showed up at the school board meeting with a headset on, a microphone?
That's what I'm saying. I'd love to interview some of these people. I don't know. I just don't.
Is it
understand.
because the school district didn't want to pay for the monument?
Well, that's the
Or-
thing. It was paid for. People raised money and parents put in money for the monument. So it's
So
already
all
paid.
they had to do is just put it
Yeah,
up.
all they had to do was vote that it was okay to be put up, and they shut it down. That's the huge
And
part of
does
it.
anybody know any reason as to why?
They said because it would be an eyesore. Basically, was the graveyard. It would look
We
like a
have
graveyard out there.
7 of them in front of Brownwood's,
Yes.
in front of our athletic program.
Yeah.
7 huge states
Yeah.
of Texas.
So I don't know, but yeah, that's why. Like I said, just wakes me up. And my softball mom.
I love so.
So I'm a little passionate.
all right, I get to be Reese Davis. Oh, you didn't know, you've already got to know our celebrity guest picker, Kobe Freeman, again, hanging out with us again. We've mentioned it in the break. This is one of those days, even take out the Hermley, put up the monuments topic. Could have easily been a 3-hour show. Josh, hope you're getting better, buddy.
Yeah, we miss you.
But it's time for our picks, and I've got Molly's and Josh's picks. He was able to pick those, so good job there. Pops did a good job last week. Jeremy actually beat Molly, so he was smarter than a fifth grader. We're going to go through some of these pretty quickly that I think we all have the same. I think we all have A&M. Do you got ACU by any chance?
No, I've got A&M. I've got to pick the Aggies. Today's Lynn Lawhon's birthday, so shout out to Lynn. Happy birthday to my bestie. And he's an Aggie. He will be at that game, and so I want him to win.
Yeah.
Especially on his birthday week.
Happy birthday, Lynn.
Yes.
Well, that would be a very tough $1 million loss. If
Yeah, we're just happy
If
they have the money to pay ACU to get down there.
Exactly.
So we've got all of us have A&M. Utah and Arizona. Arizona's been a very surprising team this year. I've actually got Arizona winning this game. Who do you have?
I've got Utah.
I've got Utah. Big time defense.
Yeah, everybody's got Utah there except me. TCU, Baylor. Does anybody have Baylor?
I do not.
No.
Everyone's-
Hey, and nobody's
Horned
talking
Frogs
about
for me.
big time personal game for Kendall Browse
Oh,
as
Yeah, good
offensive
point.
coordinator. So this is going to be he's had this one circled on his calendar.
and there's a real good chance if he can score 100, he
Yeah.
may.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And I'm glad I picked TCU. Even Josh picked TCU, so that tells you how far he's fallen off the Baylor wagon. UCF and Tech. Molly has UCF. Who do you have?
I'm going to be at this game, and so obviously my guns will be up. Texas Tech.
We all got Tech. Coach McGuire, another high school coach, being successful. Hopefully, he'll continue to do so. Kansas and K-State. Kobe, who do you got?
I got K-State. They seem to be kind of finding their late year groove that they always do. And they're playing for a lot. They're in a big time second place tie in the Big 12, so they're playing for a lot.
Absolutely. I've got K-State as well. I think it's going to be a tough win, but I've got them.
I've got Kansas. I'm sure that means there's no chance they're going to win. Washington, Oregon State. Washington's still trying to find a way to get into the playoff. They're on the outside looking in, but still undefeated. Oregon State, DJ Ukulele, who was at Clemson, now the quarterback at Oregon State. The Beavers rolling, but I've got Washington.
It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game, but I've got Oregon State.
Oh, I love it, Missy. I've got Oregon State as well. It's going. I cannot wait for this
Game of the week right
It's going to be a great week. I hope the weather doesn't mess it up.
Right,
Yes.
and unfortunately, Molly has Washington with me, so that means Oregon State will probably win. Texas, Iowa State, we all have UT. Kobe thinks it's going to be a closer game. It's always a tough place to win up in Ames. Ames.
Yeah.
Always tough to win up there. Keep rolling. We all have Texas. This past week, we've got the 3 NFL games we got. We all have the Cowboys. The Cowboys they need to treat it just like it was last week. They need to destroy Carolina, get Cooper Rush in as early as possible because the next few weeks are going to be difficult because I think the Washington Thanksgiving game will still be tough.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we all have the Cowboys. Jets, Bills. Ken Dorsey fired this week.
Yep.
Josh Allen. The Bills defense cost me a fantasy football because they can't count to 11. They lose, but they've got the Jets this week. Aaron Rodgers is acting like he's going to be coming back. And if they're in the mix, I think you're going to see Aaron Rodgers play this year. Who do you have?
Everybody's saying the Bills are going backwards, and yes, but what I shared with you and Josh was very interesting. The stats of Patty Mahomes and Josh Allen are neck and neck. 6 turnovers. Bills are 25% on conversion. They're 20%. One's heroic, one's broken. I'm going with the Bills.
That's awesome. I'm going with the Jets, and only because of the chaos of the Bills this week. But and Jets defense is playing pretty lights out.
I think the Jets will continue to have that interception number keep going up for Josh Allen. I've got the Jets as well. Bills all the way around for
Come on, Joshy.
Greer family.
Bounce back, babe. You can do it.
Final KC and the Eagles Monday night rematch of last year's Super Bowl. I think the Eagles I think they're the better team, but I think Patrick Mahomes will find a way to win.
Thank you, Taylor Swift, for getting the Chiefs going and getting Travis Kelce on fire. And I think Monday Night Football, primetime, they show up. I think Mahomes and Kelce put it to them.
Yeah, this is hard for me to pick. I'm just going to go against John on this one. I love Patty, but I'm going to go Eagles this week just to kind of go against John, shake it up.
And
Fly, Eagles, fly.
But I hate the Eagles.
and
Let it be known.
There's nothing wrong with being wrong, so it's okay. Again, Kobe thank you for coming in
Guys,
this
thank
morning.
y'all so much.
Thank
I
you,
had so
Kobe.
much fun with y'all.
Hey, we'll be back. We'll we'll have a show on Black Friday next week, so be sure you tune in. Josh, get better. And again, Cowboys, tune in and watch and listen to the Cowboys this Sunday. Of course, Texas A&M taking on ACU tomorrow as the Big Country heads to College Station. We'll be back next week. Josh, get better. Have a great weekend, everybody.
That was so fun.
That was fun.
Oh my
Misty,
gosh.
I love the fact that you threw the stats out about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
I had to because I just find that so interesting.
It is
And
interesting.
It's all about perception.
Yeah.
And that to me is